Hey folks, welcome to the Smackdown podcast. We're your hosts, Kyle and Rob Rude. How you doing, Rob?
I am doing all right, sir.
We're your one-stop shop for all your WWE main show reviews and recaps, pay-per-view predictions, and any other time there's like a big wrestling show. We'll probably check that out. But normally we're reviewing Raw and SmackDown, and tonight is the SmackDown episode. If you're new to us, thank you for giving us a listen. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. Otherwise, if you want to look for us on YouTube, just type in the search bar, Smackdown Podcast. You can also find us in the audio realm of smackdrawpod.podbeam.com, and we're also on that little podcast platform called Spotify. Still loving that we're on Spotify, man. That tickles me. Yeah, you guys, I mean, and by all means, make sure to give us a like. Subscribe. Go ahead, leave comments, criticisms, questions, whatever. We love the fan interaction on the podcast. I don't know if you can leave reviews, but if you can, go ahead and leave us a review. I like to talk to my, I'm not going to say fans, but our listeners personally. You can reach out to me on Twitter at The Kai Tai Show, or Rob, let them know where you are.
2 words, can't see me.
And that's 2 TWO and C, the letter C. Rob, we're reviewing SmackDown, man. Kind of divisive. What'd you think of it? Do you remember?
Honestly, guys, I lost my notes again, so I'm kind of faded on the show. I can tell you that I did like it. Like, it wasn't bad.
I liked it, man. I saw online some people were calling it one of the most boring SmackDowns.
People just complain, man. It's bad.
Well, I can see both sides of the argument. I think I left liking it because of that awesome Goldberg-Undertaker promo that they closed the show with, and I think that let me forget some of the guff that was in the show. And trust me, there was some guff, especially the beginning. The show opened from Toledo, Texas. We got Kofi Kingston showing a nice little video package of him returning to Ghana for the first time in 26 years. I believe that is where Kofi originally hails from. But then we get Ziggler coming out, and we get the same stuff we normally get. Ziggler pushing forth the "it should have been me" angle. The only thing that got me here was instead of like, did you? Let me see if you remember this, Rob. Instead of them cutting promos on each other left and right, there was very little talking. Did you know they cut to 4 video packages?
Yes.
Between their promos on each other.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I was halfway paying attention to the intro, so I didn't really see it. But I do know that there was way too many videos going on in this intro.
Yeah, like, because you got Kofi's when he came out.
Yes.
Then Ziggler came out, and we got a promo showing, you know, because his whole thing is him and Kofi have had very similar careers.
Yes.
And so we get Ziggler's career-long promo or package, and then it cuts back to Kofi's, and I think Kofi shows a video package of when after Ziggler won the U.S. title back in 2017, he just dropped it in the ring and left, you know? And then Ziggler cuts another video package of him beating up Kofi. Like, I was like, dude, who in the back was like, oh, this is going to be clever. You know what? Instead of them talking, let's just have them have video packages.
This is good shit.
Yeah, I've been seeing that go around. But yeah, so like your very first package, it sounds like it had you halfway paying attention, and it had me halfway. Like, I can't sit there and get into video packages because to me, it's not going to reveal anything new.
Well,
you know?
I was honestly like still doing chores. Like, I was almost done. Like, I was sitting down by the match we had afterwards. But like, even if like I was paying attention, I would have found some chores to do to get away from watching this. I don't like Dolph Ziggler. I said it a couple episodes ago. Like, I was in and out. Everybody knows that. Dolph Ziggler shows up, and there's his blonde hair, and even I was like, oh, my God, that's Dolph Ziggler, even though I know that's Dolph Ziggler. I didn't have an opinion on Dolph Ziggler because I haven't seen enough of him to have an opinion. But just in his little beef with Kofi the last 2 weeks, I want the guy off my TV more than I want Baron Corbin off my TV. You're sitting there crying, it should have been me. It should have been me. Like,
I liked that first one. Now, that first promo was good. Because I was like, it was riveting.
Yes, and it would have been near as good if he didn't make it as heartfelt. If he didn't make it heartfelt, that promo would have been weak. It should have been you. Yeah. Well, guess what? It wasn't. Kofi was there when Muhammad Ali or Mustafa Ali got hurt, and he happened to go. He happened to be there to go over. It was a lucky pick by Vince, and he went over, and everybody loved it. You weren't there. Deal with it. That's the way I look at it.
I think what Ziggler struggles from, though, is one of wrestlers' worst enemies, and that's apathy. A lot of people are indifferent, and that is a horrible space to be in a professional wrestler, because you want people to react. You want them loving you. You want them hating. You don't want them seeing you and not convey some type of feeling, because then they lose interest in whatever they're watching. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what happened to me. And like I said, what happened to you, it just could care less, and unfortunately it's don't really know who to blame here. I feel bad for Mr. Ziggles, dude, right? Because I want to like him. I respect him. But anytime he's on the TV, I do care a little less and less about whatever's going on.
Right.
But anyways,
even my daughter, I bring her up a lot too. She was like, "Is she gonna beat Kofi up, or is he gonna beat Kofi up again?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're over it too, huh?" She was kind of half paying attention too, but the first time was okay, but it was overdone. You went way too far on beating this guy up, and then he did it again. I'm like, it's just seriously gonna be.
They like to milk the cow dry with their angles. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it gets a reaction once, they're gonna do it multiple times until. And it's the problem of diminishing returns. It's hot the first time, but you see it again, you care a little less and less and less.
Right.
It is. But that segment was instantly followed up with a tag match. Kofi, the entire time Kofi was in the ring, he was joined by Xavier Woods. And as the promo ends, out comes Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We get a pretty decent match between the two. Nothing to write home about. You had Kofi and Xavier doing the babyface high spots over the top rope to the outside and through the ropes for Kofi, because he's not really a high flyer. While KO and Zayn are pulling more heel moves, like double teaming Woods while the ref was distracted. Ultimately, the match was won by Kofi hitting Zayn with a Trouble in Paradise, only for the most predictable outcome to be jumped by Mr. Ziggler himself, getting super kicked, and Xavier Woods got one for good measure too. And then that was that. That was it, man. And we got to tune in Friday or tomorrow. I'll be watching. Rob, I know you've got a job and a life.
Yes, I'll be watching at night. I won't be watching it live. So I'm gonna stay off of Twitter tomorrow because I don't like spoilers. I can't.
I'll prepare you for something. So for these shows, if you can look at it like a back those 80s and early 90s movies that were so bad that they were kind of good. That's the Saudi Arabia shows. They're just chaos, dude, and they're bad. But if you can get through all the political stuff and all the drama, you can laugh at them for just how horribly bad they're done.
Right.
But following the tag match, we get a couple little quick promos. We get a little video showing that Goldberg to address the Undertaker later in the show, and then we get Shane backstage talking to the camera, claiming he's going to be calling out Roman Reigns later in the show. And that was pretty much it. But up next we get. This gets a lot of heat from people, and I don't know. I don't hate it, but it ain't the worst. What's your take on the Moment of Bliss talk show? Do you hate these things as much as everybody else?
I love the Moment of Bliss. I love the Kevin Owens show. If they do it right, I like it. We don't get much wrestling like we should, but if we're not going to get wrestling, then let me get Alexa Bliss out there bringing out Becky Lynch, and then all of a sudden Lacey Evans comes out, and then Bayley comes out, and all of a sudden there's a big heated debate on the stage. The Moment of Bliss causes good promos, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the only thing that I'm not into really is the whole. We touched on it in the Raw episode. I'm not really into Alexa Bliss being face one show and heel the other, and I don't know if it's show specific or if it's just coincidental. But I'm not really digging the whole. On Raw, she was clearly a baby face, Yes. But then on SmackDown, she was in full heel mode. I mean, with the snivy attitude, belittling Bayley. If you guys are wondering, the segment was essentially Bliss was going to be interviewing Bayley because Bayley's the newly crowned SmackDown Women's Champion after Money in the Bank. But throughout the segment, all Bliss did was belittle Bayley and try to make her reign insignificant and say that the title means less around her waist, and she cut her off the whole time. I mean, she was fully playing into the disrespectful nature when on Raw she's courting Nikki Bliss, and almost coming across as like a genuine person. So it's weird to see her literally 24 hours apart go from opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right. Maybe Nikki Cross brings it out of her the good, and then she's seen Bayley and she's like, I don't like you, bitch.
That's what I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping that the Nikki Cross thing in her is the rock and sock, man.
I'm hoping the Nikki Cross thing is just a thing. Anybody.
Because one's gonna turn on the other.
Yes.
I'd like to see Nikki Cross pull a Batista and turn on on Bliss because she knows Bliss is gonna turn on her at some point.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's gonna be Nikki flipping. Like honestly, because we had one of our guests on here. I'm so sorry, I forget which one of you it was, guys, that pointed out that Nikki Cross was staring at Becky's title after the Becky when they beat the Iconics. And
right.
I went back and looked, and it was there.
I want to say that was JM. I'm gonna feel bad if it was.
Right.
I'm gonna feel bad if it was Duke.
I'm sorry, guys. I have a terrible memory. Like it's bad, and it's that bad. So I'm sorry. Whoever told me, props to you. But I think Nikki's gonna flip because right now she's playing the good girl, bottom of the barrel. But eventually she's gonna want a title shot, just like everybody else. And Alexa Bliss is gonna be in her way. So I mean, she's gonna have to.
But yeah, man, we'll see. But the segment really was only there as a driving force to create the number one contenders match for later on in the evening. So what happened was while Bliss was belittling Bayley and Bayley's trying to, stand up for herself and give her a promo, they get interrupted by Carmella. And at that point, I kind of popped because it was all three of the women's Money in the Bank winners. Those are the only three women's to win Money in the Bank so far. So I thought that was pretty cool. But then we got Charlotte afterwards, and it kind of revealed what was going on. They were setting up a number one contenders match for later in the evening, triple threat between Charlotte and Carmella and Raw's Alexa Bliss, which is funny because the commentators were making a big deal out of, like, can you imagine if a Raw superstar wins this number one contenders match and challenges for the SmackDown belt, when it was revealed that Dolph Ziggler is a Raw superstar and he's facing Kofi Kingston for the SmackDown championship. So it's a little inconsistent there. But anyways, clutching at straws.
One thing I do remember from my notes is I don't look deep into like anything. Like if it wasn't all over Twitter, I honestly wouldn't even have realized that Alexa Bliss was a bitch one night and then the next night she was a baby face, like, or flip-flopped around, however it went. I wouldn't even have noticed. I don't look that deep into stuff. Maybe that's why I'm happy with the product. That's why I'm happy with Usi Hot Cream.
Right.
And I don't look deep into that product. So I don't look at presence. Like I don't look like, I mean, the other night I did notice that Lacey Evans was wrestling fucking terribly. She did so bad. But when Charlotte came on that stage, I looked deep into it and I realized how much more presence Charlotte has than all three of them other girls combined. Like, I don't know why it took so long, but it smacked me in the face that Charlotte Flair has so much
Charlotte's the GOAT, man. She is the GOAT. Like, she's not my most liked female wrestler, but I mean, damn it if I don't respect her like the most.
Like, I was like, Jesus Christ.
I've said it before, man. I think it's unfair to refer to Charlotte as like one of the best female wrestlers in the world. I really feel like she knocks down that barrier and should be referred to as one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yes, I agree.
She is the total package, man. If you were just to break down like what makes a wrestler between promo skills, personality, kayfabe, meaning like their wins and losses, how they're presented, in-ring talent. She ticks all the boxes, man. She really does, dude.
It's kind of funny. We have a coworker, and she's actually a friend of ours. Her name is Charlotte. And, like, anytime somebody says her name at work, I get a funny look when I'm like, woo! People are like, what are you doing? Don't worry about it.
You can't be wooing in public, man.
Charlotte,
perceived very differently. But, But anyways, yeah, so the women are out there. Charlotte reveals that she had a little talk with Shane McMahon and set up that triple threat to take place later in the evening.
I don't think they really had a talk, just saying.
Yeah, I know, but it is, you got to say what you got to say. But anyways, and the number one contender will ultimately get their title shot at WWE Stomping Grounds whenever that takes place. Next up, we get Truth backstage. He pulls this made me laugh. I'll see if I can convey it correctly, right? Because it caught me off guard, and I really did get a chuckle. Truth is backstage, and he pulls Carmella aside, and he's talking to her about how he's been trying to get a hold of Shane McMahon, and he can't get a hold of him, and Carmella's phone starts to ring, and sure enough, she's like, "Why is Shane calling me?" And he's like, "Oh, because I've been using your phone to call him." And then, so she answers, and of course it's Shane, and she says Shane wants to talk to Truth. And then Truth questions if it's really Shane McMahon on the phone. Oh man, Truth is a gem, dude.
He really
like that
is.
dude's. Oh my god, I love Truth. But
did you see the title loss again today?
Yeah, him losing. Spoiler, folks. I haven't seen if he's gotten it back, but
he got it.
Jinder Mahal.
He got it back. Jinder Mahal was sleeping on the plane. Truth got him.
Oh Jesus! I can't wait to watch that. Yeah, Jinder rolled up Truth out in at an airport.
He's like, he can't get me on international grounds. Bloop, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Jesus. I guess Truth pinned him while he was sleeping. We got the sleeping pin finally. We all knew it was coming. Truth is pleading with Shane.
If you don't like R-Truth, I'm sorry for you. I truly am. If you have a problem with R-Truth.
Like, especially now, like when they're using him. So, like, when they're not, yeah, he kind of sucks. But when they're using him, damn it, if he doesn't give 150%, I'm telling you.
Even when I first started watching, he's like, "My hero is John Cena," and he starts doing that. I love that. He did it so well.
And Corey Graves is like, "Truth, you're 3 years older than John Cena." He said that he's his boyhood hero, and he's damn older than John Cena. This is so stupid. Oh my god! But
Truth is gold. He truly is. He truly is.
Yeah, he is.
Okay,
he's on the phone with Shane. He's telling Shane, he's like, the pressure's adding up. It's killing me, man. I need you to suspend these rules. We need to do away. We need to change the title, like how it's won. And Shane says, "Don't worry, I'm suspending the rules, and you're going to have an official match for the title." And Truth says, "All right." And he says, "Your opponent's already in the ring, and then Truth fucks off, We cut back to the ring to see Elias, and along with pretty much all of Raw's mid card. I don't know about this. Oh my god, wild card rule, bro. Because I counted like 8 Raw guys. All right, like what are the rules of this wild card?
I think they were hoping that we'd forget about it by now. I really
do. I think they were just like, man, people who watch this are stupid. They don't pay attention.
You don't like. You got like what now just happened just now. We're guys that don't really complain about the product. We voice our opinions on the bad stuff, but we don't complain. But right now you're just like, what's up with this wild card rule? They would honestly be better off having Vince stand in the middle of the ring and say, "Look, I botched it. There's only one brand now." You get better ratings. You really would. People would be like, "Okay, cool, move on."
We'll have to figure out, like, one day we'll do like a little fantasy booking, you and me, on how to fix this wild card mess and see what we would do, what we'd come up with if we were
and Vince. The brand split, plain and simple. That's my answer.
Just end it.
Just end it. Just like I just said, have Vince come out and say, "Look, guys, I screwed up. Plain and simple. There's no more brand split. That's it."
Rob, we gotta make content, bro. Okay, so at least we'll drag it out for like 10 minutes.
But anyway. I don't know how I would feel on this situation. It would be a thinker.
Anyways, we get the
Elias was in the ring. Did you catch that they cut to commercial break? He's like, "Hello, I'm Elias," and then they cut to commercial break.
I know. I was gonna like gloss over it, but now that you brought it up,
one of the best things that you do on your shows is say, "Hello, I'm Elias. This crowd sucks and they smell like poop." Dude. I mean, and you're gonna cut out of it.
It's his thing though. He gets interrupted. Whether it's by a superstar or just by a commercial break. Well,
Oh,
Ice
come
is
on.
always getting interrupted.
No, I don't want to see a commercial break interrupt you. That's a problem. Your commercial break timing.
No, Elias shines on the mic. Yeah, give that dude some mic.
He
time.
really does.
That's his area, dude.
I hope he's on Smackdown when they come here. I want to hear what he says about Detroit.
Yeah, surrounding the ring was essentially your mid-carders. The people that stuck out to me the most, unfortunately, I can't remember them all, but I remember the B team was out there, and then we had a special appearance of V1 Matt Hardy, his old gimmick after him and Jeff Hardy broke up like the first time, and he had, I think, like Shane Helms and Crash Holly were in his stable. But anyways,
is that when he started saying the delete thing?
No. That wasn't until about like 2016. V1, okay. And you're way back. Like, I don't remember exactly what year, but you're talking like 02, 03.
I personally don't like the delete thing. I never had.
Yeah, I mean, you probably missed, like, Matt Hardy's had a lot of different alliterations.
I know of his Attitude Era and the delete thing. That's all I really
That's
know
pretty
about.
much it. Yeah, no, there was a ton of ones in the middle. But those were the only two that really stuck out the most was like Team Extreme and Broken. But anyways, the lumberjack match probably set the record for the quickest lumberjack match I've ever seen. Truth almost instantly is thrown to the outside. He gets beat down by all the lumberjacks. They throw him in. I think Elias hits him with like a jumping knee and pins Truth to win the belt just like that. After he's pinned, though, the 24/7 rules are officially back on. All the lumberjacks climb into the ring.
Every single one of them. He got an old school beatdown.
Dude, this was cool though, because I love that. It's so funny to think that this title that everyone hated when it was debuted is getting the most creative treatment out of all the belts, whether you like it or not. You know, because you have everybody beating themselves like up and everything. Elias slips out. The brawl's still ensuing. You get Cedric Alexander jumping over the top ropes. I think is what happened there. Oh wait, no. That was another show. Just the brawl is ensuing, and you had Elias crawling on the outside around the ring apron. And as he's going around the corner, Truth is crawling and comes into frame, and they end up crawling under the ring together. And a ref crawls under there. We pan back to everybody still brawling in the ring. We hear a faint 3 count out of nowhere, and we hear the bell ring. And Truth comes out from under the ring with the belt and scurries off, dude. And it was easily the segment of the night. Or no, it's not segment of the night, but it was up there. It was definitely up there.
It was very good. It was very good.
Yeah. Afterwards, we cut back. We get another Aleister Black promo. This one kind of brought me back in, but I'm still not all in on the guy. I liked what it.
I'll be 100% honest. When his promos come on the screen, I stop paying attention. Like I go on.
Yeah,
Twitter.
well,
I don't. I'm not like your promo.
There's no creative effort. There's no creative effort.
And that's exactly what it is. I don't want to see it. I don't want to. I mean, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to live tweet and take notes and pay attention. So I'm like, okay, this is a Twitter moment.
and we know Twitter is not going to get the backseat. But no, and you know what? The problem is Aleister Black, his strength is, it's not that he's bad on the mic, but his strength is that he's very entertaining in the ring.
Yes. He's a big dude that does flipsy doos. I mean, come on, man.
And he's got like one of the coolest finishers, that black mass, that spinning back kick. If you're a fan of MMA, it's crazy how he can control that without legitimately knocking his other wrestlers out. But Aleister Black, now this promo was a little bit better. I'll try to give it some cadence here. What's been going on is he's all of these generic promos. He's saying that he's not calling anyone out because he's waiting for someone to step up to him. And in this one, he lost his temper at the end. He's just saying that, he's waiting for someone to knock on his door, and the dude starts screaming, just come find me,
He's waiting for someone to knock on his door. Meanwhile, he's going to have a guy knock on his door and say, "Let me in." Just saying. Just saying.
It's like, hey, it's time to lock up, bro. We got to move to the next stadium.
They're going to feud. I'm calling it. I will keep calling it until I'm wrong.
Yeah. I heard a rumor, man. Bray Wyatt, he had a cryptic thing he's been doing. If you're not aware, apparently he did some promos a couple years ago, like 8 promos,
and like they all had a key, and people had to
they all had like a
out.
sentence that didn't make sense, and apparently it was just cracked, or Bray revealed them himself, and there was 8 sentences that didn't fit, and it turned out to not reveal a promo, but it's been the names of all of the Firefly Funhouse episodes.
Really?
So apparently he plotted this out years in advance, right? So far we've gotten 7 episodes, and that means there's only one more left if all of this is true.
And he's gonna show up.
And then we get his debut. So there's a chance that we only got one more episode of the Firefly Funhouse.
Okay.
And,
which means Aleister Black's next promo is going to be like, this is my last promo. We're about to fight.
I'm about to die. Bray and his puppets are going to eat me alive. Jesus. Look out for Bird Raptor. But, so...
Aleister Black is going to cut videos, do the Muscle Man dance.
Oh, my God. No. No. That would be it. Aleister couldn't pull that off, man. No. Only Bray can pull that stuff off. Only Bray.
Only Bray prepping us as well with the first 6 episodes. If he just randomly did that, we'd be like, "What the fuck are we watching?"
Oh my God.
I showed it to a guy at work, and he said, "What the fuck? You don't even know, bro."
Oh no.
Okay, moving on, trying to keep it under an hour.
No, you're good, man. We're making good time. We're going to have plenty of time to answer these questions. Next up, Shane came out to the ring. He was flanked by the Revival. He gets to the ring, and he shows a little Raw recap of the Roman beatdown. And then his main angle in the promo that he cut is that Roman is a dog and Shane's gonna neuter him, and it's all very on the nose stuff. I like stuff that takes a little bit of thinking, but WWE, they're really on the nose with their promos. But Roman comes out, kick Shane's ass essentially, dismantles the Revival with ease. I think like one Superman punch and another one gets tossed into the LED boards at the top of the ramp. As Roman's making his way to the ring, out of nowhere, he gets Claymore kicked by a hiding Drew McIntyre, which I don't know how you hide Drew McIntyre, because that dude is a building.
They did it,
though. They did it. And then essentially after that, Roman's fed to Shane McMahon in the ring. Shane goes ahead and mocks his like ooh ah, and then like spears him.
Looking so stupid.
Dude, I know. Poor Shane, man. I mean, I guess not poor Shane. He's featured all the time, but like
we don't want him to be featured.
It's bad because we were tired of babyface Shane, and now I don't even know which I hate more.
Right.
I don't know if I hate him more as a heel or a face. He's just like one of those people where less is more. Bring him out for like 2 or 3 pay-per-views out of the year at most, but the dude's featured weekly like he's one of the main superstars on the roster. And that's beyond old by me at this point. Roman's going to kill him. Roman's going to destroy him at Super Showdown. I am convinced that this Roman gets his comeuppance at Super Showdown and just beats Shane to a pulp.
My daughter did mention to me, she said she thinks at Superstar Showdown that Shane is going to get whomped, and somehow Shane is going to pin it on Drew McIntyre, and he's going to beat up Drew McIntyre like he did with The Miz. Now, that's coming from a 9-year-old perspective, but she pays attention to what happens.
She's booking it, man.
Right.
She's booking it, dude.
I mean, so she paid enough attention to realize that, Miz caused Shane a loss, so he beat him up. She's like, McIntyre's going to make him lose. He's going to beat him up. I'm like, Miz is a little bit smaller than Drew McIntyre, but,
Yeah, we'll see. I expect them to do this to make sure it's not like a complete one-sided beatdown. Roman shows up to Super Showdown with like a kayfabe injury due to all the beatdowns he's been receiving. Because
just like the Hardys injury,
machines.
I'm sorry, I never complained about this. I'm going to take 1 second to complain about this. Jeff Hardy's injury was due to Lars Sullivan beating him up, and they showed the beatdown, and his ankle never once got hurt. Just saying.
Yeah, well, they just combined like the real life injury.
He got hurt at a house show come on, Vince. Hey, he tried to jump on the rope and do a flipsy-do, and he botched it and hurt his ankle. Oh, man, he's a high flyer, and it happens. We support this. Instead,
or at least have like a backstage,
right,
clip of like Lars taking a chair to his foot, or
right,
because you could still fake it. You could fake it where you don't really hurt the guy,
right?
You know what I mean?
Like when he said, "This
I hear what you're saying."
When he said, "This is what hurt me," I was like, "I bet you his ankle didn't even get hit." And I was watching, his ankle didn't get hit. Come on, this is some boo boo stuff. Come on, if I notice, it's boo boo. Okay, so Roman Reigns, kayfabe injury. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think Roman comes out kayfabe injured from all the beatdowns. He's ate a couple Claymore kicks. He's ate a couple spears, a shatter machine. You can come out there with some tape on your ribs or something. And then I think they'll still use McIntyre or the Revival or a combination of the two to try and even the odds. But then ultimately, I think Roman is Shane's not going to stand a chance. But we'll see. We'll see, because the way I just booked it, actually Shane kind of stands a chance. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's Shane McMahon, and if you know who
he's got the power
pays his money,
of the last name, dude. But
no, not even. It's beyond that. The man paying for this show.
Yeah.
If he wants it, he gets it.
Next up was easily match of the night. Oh my God! Finally, we get some good wrestling on the show. Because by this point, I don't even think we had like a legit match. Besides the damn what we had we had the tag match in the show opener, which was okay.
It wasn't
and then you
bad,
had
but it wasn't.
Then you had the Lumberjack, which wasn't really a match. That was just like a skit. So yeah, we only had 3 matches for the night, and but this easily took it, man. This could have been match of the week between the two shows. The number 1 contenders match for Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship. Between Carmella, Charlotte, and Raw's Alexa Bliss. I'll run down some of the high spots here because it was really good. You had Bliss nailing a sunset flip bomb on Charlotte. Those are always fun to watch.
Yes.
Mella hits her locks in her code of silence for that to get broke up, and then for Charlotte to hit, I want to say, Bliss with the big boot, which she's won a couple matches with. So we had some big moves early on in the match. Then you had Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville making their way to the ring. That was being sold as them trying to distract Carmella because I guess they're feuding, even though I thought they're feuding with the missing Kabuki girls.
You can't feud with somebody who's not there.
Yeah, you can't feud with them if they're not there. You got to feud with someone. At least feud with someone who shows up.
Is this, now that you mentioned it, is this 2 weeks in a row we went without him?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Is there an injury? Is there like a backstage injury?
I don't think so, man. I bet you what they're doing is I bet you they're trying to get them packaged right. I bet you they don't know how to package.
They realize they did it wrong.
Vince just doesn't know how to package foreigners, like non-English speakers. He doesn't know how to handle them right.
You bring them out, and you have Paige talk for them, just like you were, and we get a women's tag team title match. I'm okay with it.
Let their actions speak, man.
I'm okay with it. Speaking of, I'm going to go off subject here because I forgot to say it last show.
Go ahead.
When the Iconics were facing who they fight, Lynch and Cross, right? Was that this week?
Yeah.
Renee Young kind of mentioned, and she kind of had a little oomph in it when she said it. She was like, is it because the Iconics haven't defended their titles yet? And I took it as she's kind of throwing shade. Like, your titles aren't getting defended here. What are you doing, Vince? What are you doing? Like, that's what I heard.
They haven't had a on-screen defense yet, have they?
No, they haven't.
Like, they had a non-title match with some local talent. Like, after they won the belts.
Yes, and then I think they defended them on 205 Live, maybe.
I don't think so.
Could very well be wrong.
205 Live is a male roster. There's no.
Because Peyton fought Nikki Cross on 205 Live, and that's when Nikki Cross flipped and was like, "I gotta turn the light on," and she stopped being as crazy.
Oh, I think you're talking about main event.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what it was. I'm sorry. Yeah, main event. You're right.
205 Live is a male.
I think they defended them on that because I remember somebody saying the Iconics were on main event and I was gonna watch it, but I didn't.
I remember.
But I could very well be wrong. I meant to say that last episode.
I want to say they haven't had a title defense.
No, they haven't. They haven't.
Yeah.
And they're making a big deal.
If they have, it's been like on like a house show. I wouldn't be surprised if they're defending them on the house show.
Right, which doesn't even count. We all know house shows don't count.
Exactly. That's why I say like on-screen defense.
Yes. So like the way I took it was she was kind of like throwing shade in the background, which I could very well be wrong. I could have like seen it wrong. But with what's going on
defend them.
with what's going on with Mox right now, I think she was like, they haven't defended the belts. What are you doing? And then you got Iconics on freaking WWE Live talking about we're the longest reigning women's tag team champions.
I know. Like, that just plays into their character. That's their character.
Yes.
Though.
Yes,
stupid. You know what I mean? That's
Vince,
good character work.
Bring them some freaking. I want to watch my girls defend their.
They're
titles.
going to lose on their first defense. I'm telling you.
That's all well and good. Let me get it.
First defense.
Let me see it.
Just let the belts get defended. You know, the thing is and we're gonna. This is gonna get a little deep here, but Vince hates tag teams, man. Nowadays, like he does, and it's funny because they played such a big part in the end of the Attitude Era. Tag teams were so pivotal. But nowadays, man, it is like, dude, Vince could care less.
They're not. They're really not there.
No, I mean they don't get much shine. They don't get much time. You know what I mean? It's rough. I think it'll change soon. I think it will change soon. But
who are the Raw Tag Team Champions?
Exactly.
Like I legit don't know the answer to that question. I'm being serious.
Hold on. No,
I should
know this too. It's goddamn. It's two jobbers. And I hate calling them that, but it is. It's
yes. Didn't they beat the Revival to take the belts, and since then, like the belts disappeared?
Yeah, damn. Who is that, man? Oh, that's gonna bug me now. But yeah, it's two guys. It was more of a comedy angle than anything, and they haven't done anything with it since. It is Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
You couldn't have paid me $1 million to tell you that answer.
Yeah, no, it's so far from my mind.
Didn't they?
They haven't even been on TV.
Didn't they win the titles at Mania and like it was a big thing because they were on like a fucking 300?
Yeah, well, Kurt Hawkins was on a like 250 losing streak,
and then they won to win the belts, and that's how he came back.
Yeah, that was technically Kurt Hawkins' win. Was at Mania, and they've defended them. Oh no! This doesn't say defend. This is their second time as tag champs. They were tag champs like way.
So
way,
they haven't. I don't remember ever seeing a Raw tag team.
Yeah, if they've defended them, it was a throwaway match.
And then we haven't had Daniel Bryan and his lumberjack boyfriend in 2 weeks.
Hey man, be cool to Rowan. This is like the best Rowan's looked in like.
He's with Daniel Bryan, though, man, and Daniel Bryan is doing what he's doing and making me hate him. It's all a character. It's not, but it's all a character. It's just the whole lumberjack boyfriend thing. Is we were at when we went to our live event, my wife was like, "Who's his lumberjack boyfriend?" It's just stuck. I'm like, "What?"
Jeez, it's stuck. Well, going back to the fatal or the triple threat match.
Yes.
Throughout the match, I will say this. I kept finding myself thinking like how much Carmella has improved in the ring over the years. Because you didn't get to see a Raw, but when she was normally like a hype girl, like a valet or manager. And when she got in the ring, it was god awful. But now she's up there, man. She's really good, and she can be in an entertaining match. And I that's what I kept thinking throughout the match was, damn, Carmella just looks so good compared to back when she originally started.
I know when I got back in January, it's like I didn't hate her, but she didn't catch my eye. I was like, okay, this Carmella girl, I don't really care too much for her, whatever. But now, like, she won me over. I care when she's on the screen.
Right. And who would have thought, man, because she was part of that stable with, thank God, this is one good thing you missed was Enzo Amore and Big Cass.
Didn't Big Cass get fired?
Oh, they both got fired.
Okay.
It's just funny, though, because they were like the hottest thing, and she obviously was the weak link. And now she is way bigger than either of them ever got. and I think that's pretty cool. But anyways, we had Charlotte. The match ended. Charlotte had Carmella in the figure 8, and when she bridged up, Alexa Bliss hit a twisted bliss from the top rope. Landed right on Charlotte. Thought that was going to be it, but Mella broke up the pin. So afterwards, Charlotte came over, hit a natural selection on Bliss, where Mella breaks up that pin as well. Mella super kicked Charlotte, and as she was fixing to get the win, Fire and Desire grabbed Mella's ankles from outside the ring, allowing Bliss to scoop in and DDT, I think Carmella herself, because Charlotte was taken out by the kick. And Alexa Bliss wins, and she's now the number 1 contender for Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship, which is pretty cool, man. It was an awesome match. Like, if you're gonna watch one segment on SmackDown, and if it's not Goldberg and Undertaker, that's what you watch, is that match, because it was really, really good. Other than that, the show kind of dragged, man. At that point, I just found myself just waiting to get to Goldberg. Because other than that, we just got another recap of Lesnar beating down Seth Rollins from Raw. We got a interview, the exclusive first interview with Lars Sullivan, and it started out okay, but just
I didn't even watch it. I honestly didn't even watch it. They watered down Lars Sullivan for me.
Yeah,
like when
man.
he first came out,
she asked him, she's like, "What drives you?" And he's like, "You wouldn't ask a lion why it's a lion, so you wouldn't ask me why I'm me." And I was like, "Dude, this is bad."
That's that's kind of valid though. Like,
but that was the best
that's
part.
Good.
There was 2 more segments. There were two more sections. The next section was
I did see him like, oh, people called me. Go ahead and say it, and made her say,
yeah.
That's all I see.
That you're not in the right setting, like a well lit ring. That's supposed to be deep and brooding and intimidating.
Yes.
You need that in like a low lit room. You standing in the middle of like a well lit ring. Like just say it. It's like, dude, she could have just backed off. It didn't fit the tone.
This interview should have happened a month ago.
Yeah, and then he finished it off with, oh my God, and I know this was Vince. He finishes it off saying that he can, I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but he finished it off with a poem, and it was the 3 blind mice, and then essentially it just went from the 3 blind mice to him talking about mutilating one of the mouse and spraying blood everywhere, and it was so bad. It was so bad. By the end of it, Lars looked way worse than he did even before this, and that's not saying much, man.
They watered him down. They watered him down way too much.
They don't know how to book monsters anymore, because the problem is a monster is supposed to win, and right now everybody on top, they don't want them getting beat. Like the same thing happened with Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was on a hot streak, dude. He was the hottest damn thing at one point, man. In every segment he was in was fire, dude. But Roman was the guy supposed to get the belt, so they had him like lose every time he went up against Roman, and then he had him like turn heel, which just killed him. Like, and I'm telling you, like, Braun was hot, dude. He was white hot. But because they wanted Roman to be this valiant babyface, they couldn't pull the trigger, but they didn't give him the wins that he needed to be a bona fide monster. So they just made him look like a big goof. And he's still, in my opinion, that big goof territory. He's not a monster anymore. And it sucks to say that, because you look at Braun Strowman, and that is arguably one of the most intimidating men on this planet, dude. And yeah, he's relegated to just being a goof. Like, I don't know. Arm wrestling matches. What the fuck?
Yes.
God damn it. I'm sad now. Anyways, go ahead.
Lars Sullivan. That's what we get out of that. Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
He could just stop showing up, and nobody would remember.
Nobody would have noticed, bro. Nobody would notice. Apollo Crews and Andrade was advertised for the next match. Andrade's already in the ring. Apollo Crews was entering the ring, and gets smashed, like going through the ropes, hammerlock DDT. That was it, man. They didn't even call for the bell. The ref didn't even signal anything. And then Finn Balor came running out for some reason, and Finn Balor also hit a hammerlock, got hit with a hammerlock, a DDT, and that was it. Like there was no like DQ finish. It was just, it's weird, and it just goes into another like, what are you doing with Apollo? Like this Apollo's been fed these stupid losses for like the last month, if not ever, dude, and it's bad. That's why I said like, man, there was some drags in here, but then luckily, then we got the gold right here. We got Goldberg. God dang it, man! If Goldberg doesn't have, I think my favorite entrance of all time, dude. Even without the pyro, the crowd makes up for it. I think in a lot of ways. But I promise you, he'll have pyro at Super Showdown. But dude, oh my God, dude, Goldberg came out. He cut probably the best promo he's cut since being back in the WWE. While he was in the ring, and saying that Undertaker mentioned that he didn't want to face Family Man Goldberg. He wants 173-0 Goldberg, and Goldberg obliged, man. He said, "You're right, because if I was Family Dad like Goldberg, you'd win." So he said pretty much like Undertaker. He said you're next to rest in peace. He combined their promos. That was cool, man.
I didn't realize I didn't watch this promo either. Like I was getting stuff because we recorded Tuesday. I was getting like stuff ready. That's how I actually hit you up at 10:03 this time. But I don't. At first, I was about this, like Undertaker Goldberg. Who cares if they're old? I'm still about it, blah, blah, but it's lost my interest. Even Goldberg.
No, it's the opposite, bro. It's the opposite. It was like who cared? And then when Goldberg cut this promo, it got you hype. Do yourself a favor after we go off the air. Watch it. It's only like 2 minutes long.
Yes. But I mean, dude, I can't look at it as, oh, you want the man that went 173 and oh. That man died 173 years ago, though, man. You can't...
Due to a cattle prod.
Like, you can't be that guy again. You're not going to be that guy again.
It's storytelling, though. It's just storytelling, man.
It's storytelling. You can't back up. Come on.
Whatever, man. It'll be okay.
I'll admit, I'm being that guy on this one. But, I mean, dude, it stems because of when we seen Undertaker on Raw. Undertaker shouldn't be on Raw anymore.
Yeah,
that is half because the dude's 50 years older, however old he is. He's got a receding hairline.
He's like, yeah, dude.
He looks sick. He shouldn't be in the ring. And that's the other half is, I want my tears back. You retired the man.
Yeah.
Here he is again. I don't know. I just don't care for this match.
But
this is one rare time
after Goldberg
I'm being
said,
a negative Nancy. I will admit, I'm being a negative Nancy.
No. Trust me, there's a lot of people that agree with you, but me personally, I was the opposite. I could have cared less about this match until this promo, and then this promo kind of just like brought it all back up for me.
I will watch it. Like I said, I was getting stuff ready.
It's not a 5-star classic, But I bet you the match, the entrances are going to take up more time than the match itself. I almost guarantee it, man. But after Goldberg states Taker is next to rest in peace. We get Undertaker's dong. And, the lights go out. Lights come back up. Undertaker's behind Goldberg. We think he's going to deliver like a choke slam or something out of the blue. Goldberg just turns around. They're face to face. The light goes out again. Comes back up. Taker's gone. He's a wizard, bro. And then oh my God, Goldberg hit the best line though. He got back on the mic and he said, Undertaker, bring your jockstrap and tighten that sumbitch up. I was like, damn, Goldberg. He's so good, man. He's so good.
Now, I was waiting for this moment because obviously Undertaker was hiding under the ring.
Yeah.
And you can't have Undertaker walk down and hide under the ring during the show because your crowd's going to see
How long was he under the ring for?
How long was he under the ring? So
I said the same thing about Truth on Raw, man. I was like, I wonder.
Yes.
Truth could have probably posed as like a stagehand. Truth probably could have came out dressed up as a stagehand and then while something was going on, crawled under.
Yeah.
Undertaker, you can't do that with. Undertaker's. Undertaker ain't no 7-foot stagehand,
The reason I'm asking though is excuse me, we mentioned earlier how Elias and Truth ended up under the ring with a 3 count. On WWE.com, they had footage of them climbing under the ring. And there was a monitor under the ring, which is obviously so Undertaker could know when. Did you not see that? You didn't see that?
No.
Oh, you didn't see it? Okay. Yes, they climb under the ring, and the ref's under there, and Truth smashed Elias's head off of a steel chair that was on the ground, and that's how he got the 3 count. And there was a live monitor under the ring, which is how Undertaker knew that the lights had just went out. Let me go out there. But there was a cameraman under the ring. When did you sneak a cameraman under the ring? Fuck no. Undertaker played cameraman. He had to have. It's the little things. It's irrelevant to absolutely anything. But, us wrestling fans will talk about anything we can talk about.
Yeah. I always thought that. I think there was this. I remember one video made me laugh so hard. It was fan footage. Couple years ago, Bray Wyatt, at the end of like Raw or Smackdown, he cuts a promo, lights go out, lights come back, he's disappeared, right? And then I think it was Smackdown. Smackdown goes off the air, right? But the fan footage is after Smackdown's off the air, Bray Wyatt just like comes out from under the ring, and then as comically as he could, just hauled ass up the ramp. Just ran like a cartoon character up the ramp and turned around and gave like these crazy eyes. And then went backstage, and I laughed so hard at that, dude. Oh my god!
Wait,
because these ultra serious characters, but when they're not on screen, they can loosen up,
Yes.
And so that's what had. Oh man, I died laughing when I saw that footage.
Why was he under the ring? Was he under there for a reason?
Well, no, because that's how they disappear. If like they do a segment where the lights go out and then they come back really quickly,
okay,
they usually go under the ring to give the effect that they disappeared. Right. Yeah, so
okay.
So, but obviously, it's a trick, and they got to come back out from under the ring at some point. So,
right,
I wonder if there's footage of Undertaker doing that after SmackDown went off the air. Like, SmackDown goes off the air, and then it just comes Undertaker crawling out from under the ring. It's just so bad. But anyways, that was SmackDown. In a boat. Had a couple ups. Had a lot of stuff that dragged. Nothing necessarily outside of Apollo and Andrade. I wouldn't say anything like. Oh, and then Lars Sullivan. I wouldn't say anything terrible. But yeah, pretty slow, man. Only 3 matches.
Now that we talked about it, I realized I didn't pay attention to half of it.
Thank God you got me, Rob. That was SmackDown.
I didn't watch the intro. I didn't watch the freaking Lars thing. For the Goldberg thing, I was getting ready for the
Go back
podcast.
And watch the Goldberg promo. Watch that. Good. It's really good.
Man, Goldberg without pyro, though, man.
They'll have pyro at Super Show.
Yeah, they allow it over there.
They will. Well, they'd be allowed now. It was budget cuts. Vince said it didn't add anything to the show. And
it adds everything to the show. You're on crazy. You know how much it adds to the show? When the Attitude Era was a thing, late 90s?
Yeah.
How we'd watch USA Network, and then all of a sudden Raw would pop on, and then there's fireworks everywhere, and the crowd going nuts, and everybody yeah, Raw, fireworks. September 28th, 1998, I went to Raw's War at Joe Louis Arena. And all I talked about was, I didn't find out I was going until the day of the show. I said this on a thing before. My buddy's like, yeah, I'm sorry, my aunt couldn't afford a ticket for you. Because it was my best friend's birthday at the time, on the 28th.
Right.
And the day of the show, he's like, yeah, I lied. She got you a ticket. I've known, blah, blah, blah. So all I talked about all day, I didn't talk about we're going to see DX, because I said, I said DX is my favorite thing ever. I didn't talk about how we're going to see Stone Cold. I talked about how the show's going to start. We're going to see the fireworks and be part of it. And we didn't get it. They didn't do the fireworks. And to this day, I'm disappointed over it. Vince, that's how much fireworks affect your show. Just saying.
Damn,
yeah.
The pyro does. Now that it's been gone, at first I didn't care, but now that it's been gone a while, I do miss it. I really do.
The pyro's amazing.
I miss it, and then I miss some of it's probably nostalgia, because depending on who you ask, you're going to get a wide range of people's favorite entrance music, like Raw's theme music or SmackDown's theme. But I miss some of the old ones with the pyro, and that's probably just nostalgia speaking. There's probably no other reason. Although my personal take, without trying to claim too much nostalgia. I do find that like I feel like rock and metal and even new metal are much more like suited for wrestling than say like
Yes.
hip hop. And although the theme music isn't hip hop right now, but like when they had an edge, man, like my personal favorite besides the original SmackDown was when Marilyn Manson they used the Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson as the intro.
Yes.
And I thought that made it so edgy, dude, because I'm like such a young teenager and Manson is like scary, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then Raw, whenever they went to the Ruthless Aggression era, and I think they had like that move song, like move to the music, play that effing music, whatever. I thought that was really good too. But
what was it? SmackDown versus Raw, the video game. I only played like after No Mercy and like WrestleMania 2000 for 64. I didn't really play wrestling games, but I did get a hold of. I think it was SmackDown 06. Like basically, my mom like found it at like a flea market or something, and she's like, "I know you used to play these wrestling games. I thought you might want it," so she bought it for me. And
nice.
When Worlds Collide was the main menu music for that.
By shoot, hold on.
By Static X, right?
Not Static X. It's damn it, man! It's gonna kill me. That was like my second favorite song from that band because they sang. Oh, actually, no, I think that was my favorite song. They didn't have many songs. They came out around the same time that Linkin Park got big.
Let's see. Worlds.
Oh my gosh.
Power Man 5000.
I know.
Power Man 5000. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But like, I would turn that game on because this was before like the Spotify ages, and like at the time I didn't have like a good computer, so I couldn't.
You had
to
throw
YouTube.
You had to throw like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, man, to listen to some of your favorite songs.
Yes, you get it. Like I'd turn that game on and just let the main music play. And
just play the soundtrack.
It wasn't even like the full song, but like what I got out of it, I'm just like, "Oh, you ready to go?" Yeah, like
hype, man.
But if you gave me a hip hop song on that, like it'd be okay. This is cool, I guess. It just doesn't match. Like
I said, I don't feel like it hits the mold, man, because it's wrestling. It's supposed to hit hard. It's supposed to be intense. You know what I mean? At the core of it, it's supposed to be action packed, and I don't find that from hip hop. It could just be me. Like other people could say like a hip hop song really fits it, and they could probably describe it better. But this is just my take.
Right,
you know.
Right.
Well, anyways, let's get to a couple questions, Rob.
I don't have any, so whatever
you don't have
got,
any?
I don't have it. I didn't get any this time. I didn't even ask.
Let's see here. I got. Let me see. I got one here. Dang, I only got one.
Well, let's roll with it. It's all right. We're trying to cut time tonight anyway.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just ask this one. This is an AEW question. But it comes to us from Not a Fan on Twitter. This dude's straight up heel online, bro. I love him to death, but this dude's straight up heel, like on his Twitter game. It's from motherfucking Mark. It's MUUFUKINMARK. He originally sent us this to answer.
That's an amazing at. Like I don't think I'm following.
Yeah.
I'm going to now. That's an amazing at.
Yeah, he originally sent this for our AEW show, but that show went like 3 hours. So, we'll go ahead and get to this now. But he said, he's asking why people think Moxley is going to make a big difference in AEW, and I've seen a couple people say this too. And then in his opinion, he goes on to say he doesn't find him to be a very good wrestler, and he says his promo skills are questionable at best. He also said that when Dean Ambrose came back to WWE from his injury, the ratings went down. And granted, everything he says here, you can justify. I will say that Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley's wrestling was never my favorite thing about him. Now, granted, I don't think he's a bad wrestler. In fact, the best match I think he had was at, I think like it was called like WWE Fastlane against Triple H. That was a really good match. And his promo skills, for his promo skills and the ratings, I can't really relate him directly to Moxley or Ambrose. Mainly because, for one, the promos. We recently got the Chris Jericho podcast talking about how the scripts are handed down, and he hated them, but he had to ultimately go by what other people were writing for him. And if you compare his promos in WWE to what's recently been released by him, I think what he's been releasing is so much better. Like, I'm not going to say he's the best promo guy on the planet, but you combine that with the aura of him breaking free from the WWE machine, and then expressing his creative freedom that he's been given, and it just adds to the specialness of his promos. It's kind of like a full package is what makes it better, instead of judging it on just the words alone. But they're great. I honestly think they're great. And then the ratings, I'm sorry, man, but the ratings are going to go down no matter what. He's been gone and the ratings are still going down. You know what I mean? Like, it's, because I can flip the argument on you, man, and say, well, now that he's gone, the ratings are worse. It's like, but ultimately, and I've seen some other people, and this is what I've got to say about it. I think a lot of people are upset because AEW and Jon Moxley are getting this flash in a pan feel of swelling of support, and it takes these WWE loyalists, and I consider myself a WWE loyalist too. I'm just not going to hate another product because it's not WWE. I like to judge everything based on its merit, But a lot of these people, are WWE loyalists, and they don't. How do I put this? It's wrestling is not a one size fits all. There's something in it for everybody, whether you like comedy, whether you like in-ring action, whether you like violence, whether you like drama, like whatever it is, there's going to be a wrestler and a style and something out there for you. And it also, there's promotions that have their own mold, and they're not going to cater to every audience. And so, in my opinion, I think Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley, the style and the way he wanted to express himself, he just can't do in the WWE. And what we got from what WWE wanted to do with him just wasn't the right fit, man. It wasn't the right fit. We didn't get him at his potential. And I'm not saying that he has to have 100% creative control, but you got to play to a person's strengths at the end of the day. Otherwise, they're not going to come across as great as they could be. It's like look at what they did with Goldberg. I know you didn't see this, but like when Goldberg first came into the WWE, he suffered, man. He suffered because they wanted this dude in long drawn, dragged out matches like a ring technician, and it wasn't his style. His style is supposed to be a badass juggernaut who gets it done in 2 to 3 minutes. Go 100% for up to 5 minutes max. And then the match is over, whether he wins or loses. And so if you look at Goldberg's first run in the WWE and then his run something like 15 years later when they played to his strength, even at his age of like 50 years old, the man looked way better than he did when he was young. And you got to play to the guy's strengths. And I think that's why Moxley is going to be so good outside of WWE, is whoever he's going to work with. He's going to work with AEW, but he's going to work with these other promotions for the time being. And they're going to play into his strengths. And it's going to make him a big deal, whether you're going to like it or not, whether you get it or not. That's why he's a big deal, is he's getting – these people are playing to his strengths. That's my answer, man.
The way I look at it is – like you basically said it, he was watered down in WWE. He was playing under Vince.
Yeah.
We have the luxury of this question was asked before we had the luxury of Jericho's podcast.
Right.
He said it all on Jericho's podcast as to why he wasn't good. Now I don't know if the guy was in the Indies. If he was, obviously he was. If like John Moxley freaking video,
he was like a death match guy.
Okay.
Okay. Hardcore turned like 110%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. He was watered down in WWE. That's obvious. The dude, even if he doesn't cut very good promos, even if he's not like very good in the ring, the dude has a presence. He me coming back, I keep saying that I've been back since January, so I don't know nothing about the Shield. I don't know nothing about what them guys did.
Crazy to not know much about the Shield.
I didn't even watch the Shield reunion that they had. I didn't care about it. I don't know who these guys are.
I didn't watch it.
I don't want to turn on my TV to watch more Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. I don't care for Roman Reigns. I don't hate him. I don't want him off my TV, but I don't want to see him if I don't absolutely have to. So I didn't watch the Shield stuff. I don't know about the Ambrose stuff, but the dude has a presence. Now, I bought AEW. Because one, I didn't want to be left out on Twitter when somebody said, the Young Bucks won and blah, blah, blah. But the main reason I gave them $50 was to watch that Moxley pop. The way Twitter hyped him up and how good he is, I wanted to see that Moxley pop. And when it happened at the end, I was dozing off on my couch. When he came up and he showed up, I jumped. Literally, I jumped and I popped. I was like, this is it. This guy is amazing. Even to I'm not really a casual, but a guy like me that doesn't know anything, the dude has a presence. If you look at his independent, self-made internet promos, he has a promo of him sitting on a couch talking about, and I don't remember the exact words, but this is a very good summary, basically saying, why the fuck does everybody take everything so fucking serious in wrestling? We run around in our underwear. He said, we run around in our underwear and make funny faces at each other and we get paid for it. Boom! That right there. That's why Jon Moxley is a fucking thing. Because he, at heart, isn't about the money. He's not about the fame. He wants to go out, he wants to have fun, and he wants the fans to have fun. Don't take me so fucking serious. I'm running around in my underwear and I'm making funny faces at my opponent.
I always loved that joke. It's a bunch of men fighting each other in their underwear over a belt.
Yes, and that's what it is.
I've always loved it. It's the truest statement, man.
And that's what it is. And there was another promo, self promo I seen of his that I forget what it was. But behind the scenes, the man that he is amazing. Every time you go type in Dean Ambrose in the Twitter gifs, him saying, "Well, goddamn" gif comes up. That's him. That's Dean Ambrose. That's Jon Moxley. The man that is him. Even if you have bad promos and you have bad wrestling skills, you are a mark. You are a presence. That's my answer. You are a presence no matter what you do. And that's why people want to see him.
Nice, man. Nice.
But yeah, when I see that promo, he's like, we're running around in our fucking underwear making funny faces at each other. That's the man he is. It
just resonates,
don't
man.
Take it so serious. Watch it, enjoy it, go on with your life.
Yeah, but we could go into why fans are so passionate and opinionated, and there's so many factors. There's no easy answer to it.
No, there really isn't. There really is.
People just get attached to things, and like I've said before, we now have an outlet. When something doesn't go our way, we can instantly put it out there that we're unhappy.
Yes.
Even
I'm starting to be a negative Nancy, and I wasn't at all.
No, good things are on the horizon. I think you came back at a good time, man. I have a feeling, man. Wrestling as a whole, it's not even like that wrestling sucks right now. It's wrestling as a whole is good. Is WWE, who's always been in the forefront, it's in a slump, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's good bits here and there, but there's a lot of BS you got to sit through to get to those good bits.
Which it's easy for me to sit through BS.
Yeah,
but it's just getting harder.
It's hard for me to take notes. I
don't know if it's because I'm opening my eyes more, or if it's just getting more bullshittier. I don't know.
And it's also that you got 5 hours of content to take in every week.
And now I have to take notes and pay a little more attention to what we're doing right now. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I will say wrestling's a lot easier to digest when you don't have to take such critical notes. Because if wrestling's bad, I can kind of tune it out. But now that we have to do the show, I'm like, I actually have to pay attention to this slog of content.
And what's funny is I'm not even looking for that stuff. That's your job. I'm looking to be the funny guy. That says,
thanks, man.
Did you see that guy? Did you see that guy's "Where's Ronda Rousey's fine ass at" shirt? That's me. That's the type of shit I want to talk about. That's in my notes.
Dang, man.
What's awesome is I tweeted that. I was like, did anybody see the "Where's Ronda Rousey's fine ass" shirt at? And somebody on Twitter commented they have one. They're like, "Oh, you talking about this shirt?" I was like, "That's fucking
Did you see
awesome."
where that's from?
No.
The shirt said, "Where's Ronda Rousey's fine ass at?" Is that what you said?
Yes.
So what that's from is over in UFC. There's this fighter named Derek Lewis. He's like a big black boy, man. He's huge. Kind of built like a Braun Strowman, but not as jacked. He got a little bit more of a belly to him. But he's a big boy. And then Ronda Rousey's husband is Travis Brown. Well, before they fought, Travis Brown had some controversy surrounding him because he had been arrested for domestic violence towards his then wife, because him and Ronda were dating before Travis got a divorce. And so Derek Lewis didn't like him, but, Travis Brown and Ronda are newly dating. Well, anyways, the fight happens, and Derek Lewis knocks out Travis Brown out cold. Actually, a super vicious knockout, too. The ref kind of stopped a little late, so we got some extra shots in there. But in his post-fight speech, that's what he said, man. He started looking around the arena. He said, "We're on a ref fine ass at." And, dude, everyone lost their stuff. Because Derek Lewis is a funny guy, man. That dude's got some legit promo skills. Even in MMA, he's got legit promo skills. Almost every win he's got like a memorable thing that he says after his match, and they're all off the cuff. You don't get like a scripted vibe from him. If he knows that he's going to say it after the match, you couldn't tell, because it feels like it's completely in the moment and off the cuff, and that's really good. That's a good skill to have. But yeah, that's where that statement's from. Nice. Is Ronda Rousey's husband got knocked out, and then the dude that knocked him out was asking that to Joe Rogan in front of like thousands of people in an arena, and it was gold. But we'll go ahead, man. I think we'll end it on that note. Rob, pretty good episode.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man, we didn't run super long. I think we're just over an hour. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to come back and see us next week. We'll be posting on Wednesday. Rob sounds like he might be taking a little bit of a vacation. It might just be me. We might try to get a returning guest on the show. Hopefully everything runs smoothly. We can record it on Tuesday and have it uploaded Wednesday like normal. If not, we'll have an episode up Thursday or Friday like we normally do. Once again, you can reach out to our show at the Smackdown Pod, or to myself on Twitter at the Kai Tai Show, and at Rob at 2 words can't see me. Thank you guys. Y'all have a great night.
Yeah, boy.